News release, Tuesday, February 21, 2023. National Institute of Health-supported study demonstrates injectable RT may improve outcomes in underserved patients. A long-acting antiretroviral treatment LAAR-T given every 4 to 8 weeks and delivered with comprehensive support services suppressed HIV in people who were previously not virologically suppressed. This is according to an ongoing demonstration study of 133 people with HIV in San Francisco, funded by the National Institutes of Health. The study focused on reaching people who have historically had decreased access to antiretroviral therapy at RT, including people experiencing housing insecurity, mental illnesses, and substance use disorders. The study findings indicate that long-acting injectable RT can benefit people who face many treatment barriers and are historically underserved. The findings were presented at the Conference on Retroviruses and Opportunistic Infections (CRO) by Maneka Gandhi, MD, MPH, Professor of Medicine and Associate Division Chief at the University of California, San Francisco, and Medical Director of the Ward 86 HIV Clinic at San Francisco General Hospital. The research was supported in part by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases (NIH) and the National Institute of Mental Health (NIMH), both part of the National Institutes of Health. ART has been a medical game-changer for saving lives as treatment and as a potent prevention tool with undetectable equals untransmittable, or U equals U. Yet, we have substantial gaps that remain for people who face co-occurring health, housing, and other socio-economic challenges, said Carl W. Diefenbach, Ph.D., Director of the NIH Division of AIDS. Making progress against the HIV pandemic necessitates that societies prioritize reaching those who have historically been left behind, yet stand to benefit the most from making newer, easier formulations of RT available. Although there are highly effective options for daily oral RT to treat HIV, there are many barriers to adherence, including housing or food insecurity, untreated mental illnesses, substance use disorders, transportation challenges, legal system involvement, and other factors. Long-acting injectable medications, which are given every 4 or 8 weeks, could help people overcome some of these day-to-day treatment barriers. However, the only LAR-T combination regimen approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for people with HIV, injectable intramuscular cabotegravir and rilpivirine, is approved only for patients who have already achieved viral suppression and are currently on oral RT. As such, people who face challenges adhering to daily oral RT also face barriers to accessing LAR-T. To address this gap, Dr. Gandhi and her team sought to enroll patients in their study who have historically been underserved, including those with high rates of unstable housing, mental illnesses, and substance use disorders. Participants did not have to be on daily oral RT or have viral suppression to be eligible for the study and to start treatment with the long-acting injectable. Between June 2021 and November 2022, 133 study participants with HIV started on LAR-T, including 57 people, 43% with untreated or unsuppressed HIV, and 76 people, 57%, who were virologically suppressed on oral RT. The researchers performed biweekly review of each participant's health status, and pharmacy staff conducted regular outreach to remind patients of their injection appointments. Among participants who began the study with virologic suppression, all 100% remained suppressed over the period of follow-up. Among participants who did not begin the study with virologic suppression, at a median of 33 days, 55 out of 50 790, 6.5% had achieved virologic suppression. Only 2 of the 133 study participants did not achieve or maintain viral suppression, a rate of 1.5% in line with findings from previous clinical trials that studied LA at RT in people with HIV who had achieved viral suppression on daily oral RT. Participants had a median age of 45, and 88% identified as cisgender men, 68% identified as non-white, 58% reported having unstable housing, 8% reported experiencing homelessness, 38% reported having a mental illness, and 33% reported substance use. Our patient population does not look like the patient population that got enrolled in the clinical trials to determine the approval criteria for long-acting RT, said Dr. Bondi. It is the role of researchers to help address disparities through intentionally and proactively including diverse groups in our studies, and for this population to have the same successful outcomes as those in the other clinical trials was very important and exciting. We want to have the ability to offer these drugs to patients who stand to benefit the most, including those who face challenges adhering to daily treatment. Together, results from 3 landmark NIH-funded clinical trials STA-RT, SMA-RT, and HBTN52 conclusively demonstrated that starting antiretroviral treatment promptly after HIV diagnosis and continuing it without interruption protects the health of the person living with HIV while preventing transmission of the virus to sexual partners. Yet persistent barriers, including stigma, often delay the start of a RT and reduce adherence among people who face significant health and social challenges. Further clinical trial data on the effectiveness of LA at RT in achieving and sustaining virologic suppression among people who face treatment barriers are needed. An ongoing NIH-supported clinical trial, the Latitude study conducted in the AIDS Clinical Trials Group Network, is using a randomized design to directly compare the efficacy of LA at RT and oral RT regimens among people experiencing adherence challenges. The study authors also note that reaching patients and following up with them requires intensive resources, a limitation that should be addressed to make LA at RT more widely available. The most effective treatments are those that fit into the lives of people who need them. These findings show that with the right support, long-acting RT can make it easier for people with HIV who face barriers in adhering to daily oral treatment to keep the virus under control, said NIMH Director Joshua Borden, MD, PhD. Dr. Gandhi and her team have made state-of-the-art HIV treatment finally available to people with unique challenges, like those who use drugs and have found success, said Nora Volkow, MD, Director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse. This is the sweet spot for addressing HIV, thinking outside the box to deliver care in a way that meets people's needs, even when that means it happens outside the clinic walls, by phone, or on neighborhood streets. This can be done, but it requires creativity and resolve. For more information on substance and mental health treatment programs in your area, call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357 or visit www.findtreatment.gov. Funding. Research reported in this press release was supported in part by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Award No. 2P30 at 27,763 and the National Institute of Mental Health Award No. RONEM 123,396. About the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases ID conducts and supports research at National Institute of Health throughout the United States and worldwide to study the causes of infectious and immune-mediated diseases and to develop better means of preventing, diagnosing, and treating these illnesses. News releases, fact sheets, and other NIID-related materials are available on the NIID website. About the National Institute of Mental Health NIMH, the mission of NIMH is to transform the understanding and treatment of mental illnesses through basic and clinical research, paving the way for prevention, recovery, and cure. For more information, visit www.nimneGov. About the National Institute on Drug Abuse NIDA is a component of the National Institutes of Health, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. NID supports most of the world's research on the health aspects of drug use and addiction. The institute carries out a large variety of programs to inform policy, improve practice, and advance addiction science. For more information about NID and its programs, visit https://www.nida.gov. About the National Institutes of Health, National Institute of Health, the nation's medical research agency, includes 27 institutes and centers and is a component of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. National Institute of Health is the primary federal agency conducting and supporting basic, clinical, and translational medical research and is investigating the causes, treatments, and cures for both common and rare diseases. For more information about National Institute of Health and its programs, visit www.nagov. National Institute of Health Turning Discovery into Health Registered. M. Gandhi et al. High virologic suppression rates on long-acting RT in a safety net clinical population presentation #518. Abstract from the 2023 Conference on Retroviruses and Opportunistic Infections 2023.